Front porch culture versus back porch culture. 70% of people have never had a meal with a neighbor. Never. We've lost that daily friction that made community possible. Hey, what's up? Just wanted to jump on today and talk about something that happened in our week this past week. So we had a couple of our neighbors over for dinner, two older couples. And I just wanted to jump on and talk about this because it was amazing, but there was also some things said that just really stuck with me. And so one of the ladies talked about while we were having dinner, which was chaos before and after and during because of the kiddos, but she was talking about this front porch culture versus back porch culture and essentially got into, hey, when she was younger, everyone was on the front porch. And now if people are outside in the neighborhood at all, they're always on their back porch. And, you know, they're kind of hidden away and they don't know what's going on in the neighborhood. And I think the shift, I don't think was an accident. You know, there was this golden age of front porches, you know, from like the late 1800s to the early 1900s. The front porch was America's like original social network. And then I was doing some research and there's three things that killed it in the 1950s. Air conditioning was one of them. Television, and then the vehicle. We moved inside, and then also we moved to the back of the house, and we've lost that daily friction that made community possible. And it was funny because even Joyce was talking about the air conditioning. And so when it came up in my research, I thought that was interesting. And so I guess I want to talk about how now we are paying this price, right? The Surgeon General has declared loneliness an epidemic in America. 57% of Americans are lonely right now. So that's more than half of us. And 58% feel like no one truly knows them. And I just want you to think about that. This isn't just about like feelings. Really, the health effects of loneliness are comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So here's what really got me, though. 70% of people have never had a meal with a neighbor. Never. And yet studies show that those who eat socially more often are happier. They have a bit more trust in other people, and they're also generally more engaged with their communities. Again, I was doing some of this research. I was seeing one of the other stats that really stood out to me. I'll make sure to link all this. Was 75% of people say the best way to connect with someone is to share a meal. We know this, right? We just don't do it. And so at our dinner the other night, we came to this realization that our neighborhood is actually, you know, one of the better ones. We have an Easter egg hunt that I'm excited. It's coming up in just a couple months. We have Halloween festivities every year. The neighbor who lives behind me, who is over, he always pulls a hay ride. He shoveled everyone's driveway the other day. Like, people are actually getting out and about in our neighborhood. And the guy who lives behind me, Zane, he said, we stick together. You know, if someone needs something, you just tell us and we'll tell you, and we're here to support each other. And I think that's the piece that we've really lost, that sense of we're in this together. So here's what I want you to think about. Is there a neighbor that you could reach out to today? Maybe it starts just saying hi to them the next time you see them. Maybe you ask if they need any help with anything, especially if there's an age gap, which, you know, definitely exists in our neighborhood. There's some folks that are extremely old, and then there's younger families. And so it's a good mix. And so, hey, can I shovel your driveway because it snowed? Could I help out with your yard, especially if you have kids too? That could help. Put them to work, right? We're not there quite yet, but coming. Or maybe if you get to a point where it's like comfortable enough, hey, invite them over for a meal, because 70% of people have never done that. So be in that 30% and try to get that number up. So all this to say, just like get to know the people around you. It's good for them. It's good for you. And honestly, it might be the thing that helps, I guess, get us over this hump in society where no one trusts each other anymore, right? Everyone we talked about this at dinner too. Everyone thinks, oh, I've got, you know, political differences with someone, or, you know, I don't trust them, or they said something to me that rubbed me the wrong way years ago. And of course, you can always hang on to all those types of things. But I guess my challenge that I've been challenging myself with this is try to get over things. Another story that came up at the dinner table was talking about there's a misunderstanding. You know, Zane was shoveling driveways, and he has this, when I say shoveling driveways, he has like one of these big I don't know what you call them, but the thing that like you ride in it, it's a little like it's all around you and it's got like a big shovel on the front. I see him like when they're building a house or something for dirt. He just has one of those on a property. He basically lives on a little farm. So brings that out. He posts on the Facebook page, hey, if you want me to shovel your driveway, just let me know. I'll come by and do it. So he's doing it for one guy and he's got to put the snow somewhere. So he's putting it over across the street for a second. And this guy comes out and he's like, hey, what are you doing out there? And he's like, oh, don't worry. I'll put it exactly back where, how I found it, but I'm not done yet, basically. And Zane, does it, and he keeps doing some other driveways, and it kind of rubbed him the wrong way. Like, leave me alone. I'm trying to help out here, and you come out here asking or yelling at me about, and we're both old guys. Like, I'm not. Don't yell at the old guy, especially not one that's helping out in the neighborhood. So, but then he told me the story. He said he comes back from doing a few others, and he's like, oh, I'm not going to do theirs, at first. And then he sees that guy's wife, older lady. She's out there just with a little shovel trying to get things shoveled away, doing it. And it was a lot of snow. I mean, I did it. Zane didn't tell me he was going to do that until after I'd already done most of ours. But, she's trying her best or whatever. And he calls up to her. He says, just stand back, let me, I'll do this and I'll help you guys out. And she did. So it was just a really good story of people, not everybody's going to see eye to eye on everything, and there might be a misunderstanding. People get rubbed the wrong way, but you can always, put things aside, be the bigger person, and just help. And so, yeah, it's been interesting just thinking through all the things in our world. Obviously, there's so much going on with tech, and that's very interesting. And I know I've spoken about this on the show before, but you end up having to still coordinate with people, whether it's a customer or a team member, your wife, your neighbor, whomever it is, right? You still have to work together with people. And so it's going to continue to be a big theme, I think, of just how do you treat other people? How do you work with other people? And especially how do you do that when you don't see the world the same, or you have, just differences of opinion on really anything. I should also mention, of course, you couldn't have the neighbors over at the dinner table without, the women going and playing with the kids and the men staying back at the table and discussing, politics. And I'll say, like, we don't see everything the same, that's normal. You look at statistics and like the country is pretty split 50-50. So it's a coin flip. Makes sense that not everybody would be exactly on the same page on all of that. But the only thing I'd mention is, we came to that conclusion that is like, oh yeah, you see that situation different than I see it, because your background or maybe some things that have happened in your life that make you think that way. But here's the really big takeaway is that no one got heated. No one, no one tried to attack someone personally. It was just, we all walked away at the end, everyone shaking hands, hugging each other, saying we should do this again. I'll host the next one at my house. And it was just really good. Just a really good reminder that when you sit down and talk with real people in person, across the dinner table, sharing a meal, everyone brings something. And it was just random. It wasn't like, oh, let's celebrate Christmas together or let's do a Friendsgiving. It was just a random like Tuesday or Wednesday night this week that we got together. So yeah, my challenge for you is try to do things like that, even if it's the first time. In our experience, we've done it with them before. Our big challenge is saying, hey, we're going to do this consistently, right? We're going to try to get together monthly. And that's hard sometimes with all the coordinating all the schedules with all the kids and everything. So, but I think it's good. And I think if we could do it at scale, across the entire country, more people, like even if we just move that 70% number down to 65 or to 60%, I think that would be huge. So all I'd say, I guess there's a challenge, right? Go have dinner with your neighbor, invite your neighbor over for dinner. Tell me how it goes. You can either shoot me a DM or you can also, I guess, comment on the video and talk about how it went. Maybe it's not going to go well. I don't think they all go well. That's for sure. I've had a lot of coffees with people over the years to reach out to them cold or vice versa, and you walk away from it, you're like, I don't know, I don't know if I'll reach back out to that person. But I think you have to try, and maybe you do have to have a couple times, especially someone who hasn't had a meal with someone in a little while. They might be a little rusty on social cues and emotional intelligence and all the things. And so I would just say, yeah, just try to love on your community and see your community love back on you. And I guess get off social media for a little bit. Obviously, you're watching this video on social media, so there's not all bad things on a place like this. But the classic, at least meme that I see all the time, is go out and touch grass. I think having dinner or lunch or wine or whatever it is with your neighbors, that is a form of touching grass. I guess if you are physically actually in the grass in the backyard or in the front yard doing it, that would actually be touching grass. But it's this whole, like, take a step away from the online madness and the news cycle from your television. Just take a step away from that and try to grasp what's real. I think that's how I see touch grass. Now, of course, you really should touch actual physical grass as well. And that kind of gets back to that point of, the front porch. It was just something I had never thought about. But the front porch versus the back porch, we have like a back, it's like a covered thing that there's a TV and a couch and stuff like that. And we can be outside, but also like enjoy television or sitting with friends. And our front porch just has the 2 seats. And we can be out there, but I can't be out there with a bunch of people, whereas we can with our back porch. So maybe that's a call for some general contractors to go out and redo some front porches or incorporate it into new builds that they're working on. So, okay, that was really everything. I hope that that's helpful for you to think about, and I hope that you have a dinner with your neighbor here very soon. And I hope that you can tell me about it and let me know how it went. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.